Coverage you can count on.
New at noon, a very upsetting sight on Memorial Day. Someone splashing red paint on the War Memorial in Lawrenceville. Vandalism was discovered earlier this morning, and we sent you an alert as soon as we learned about this crime. Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke to a veteran about the vandalism and learned police are now trying to find the person responsible. Mike, good afternoon.
This Lawrenceville memorial was perfectly decorated for the Memorial Day holiday. Then folks woke up and found this, an act of vandalism right here in their neighborhood. They say they're disgusted, feel disrespected, and they want whoever is responsible for this to come forward. It is a surreal sight, a sight no one wanted to see this Memorial Day, a day where we remember, reflect, and honor those who put it on the line serving our country. Only Channel 11 was there as Pittsburgh police documented the damage at the War Memorial at Doughboy Square. The beloved space at Butler and Penn Avenue in Lawrenceville was splashed and covered in red paint, some of it on American flags, a lot of it covering the names of service members who passed away fighting for our freedom. Symbols were also painted across the back and sides. On the very front, someone painted a message with a date that reads, "Glory to the Day of Heroism." Community members say they can't begin to understand why someone would do this, and they feel it's a slap in the face to America and all service members.
It's just so sad, because what is your message? Why would you do something like this to this incredible piece that stands for so much in this neighborhood?
I just wonder why people do what they do and what they're thinking when they do it. Just, whacked. Yeah.
And Pittsburgh police tell us they're now working to review surveillance cameras from this area in hopes of catching whoever is responsible for this act of vandalism. We're now working to talk with community members who have a personal connection to the memorial and why they say this is so heartbreaking. Reporting in Lawrenceville, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
It's just awful, Mike. Thank you for the latest there. And we do want to say in the last 20 minutes, we got a statement from Pittsburgh Public Safety Director Wendell Histrick releasing this statement saying vandalizing a memorial on any day is wrong, but it is incomprehensible to vandalize this memorial on a day in which we honor those who served and gave their lives for the freedoms we enjoy today. Pittsburgh police will vigorously investigate this crime. Anyone with information is asked to contact police immediately. We will have much more tonight at 5. Right now, we do need to head outside. It is warm and muggy on this Monday. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Scott Harbaugh joins us now. I haven't been outside in a few hours, but Scott, I'm told it is a little sticky.
It is really sticky. That dew point has shot up in the last couple of hours. So 81 degrees right now as we look live in downtown Pittsburgh. Not a breath of wind to stir things around. Current dew points, mid-upper 60s. The dew point is that measure of moisture in the atmosphere. The higher that number is, the more humid the air feels. Once it gets into the mid-upper 60s, it's starting to get a sticky factor going. So it feels like 83 right now in Pittsburgh. Feels like 84 in Beaver and in Washington. Now, storm tracker, dry this afternoon. That's because hardly any cloud cover. We'll see a couple clouds pop this afternoon and the slightest chance of a stray thunderstorm later today. But look at these temperatures, mid-80s this afternoon, feeling closer to 90 degrees. I am updating Storm Tracker to pinpoint the best chances to get outside this afternoon. I have the full forecast, Catherine, coming up in minutes.
That is mighty sticky. Scott, thank you so much. It is Memorial Day today, and we know the celebrations and the commemorations have been very different this year. While people may have to have the itch to get outside for the first time in a while, we are supposed to be social distancing. The FDA is stressing to not let your guard down today. This past weekend marked the unofficial start of summer, and we saw a lot of people on the beaches and in our parks. The commissioner for the FDA says the virus is not contained at this point, and he stressed that following safety guidelines and sanitizing efforts are essential. He went on to say it is up to all of us to protect ourselves and our fellow community members. And Dr. Deborah Birx of the White House Coronavirus Task Force offered this advice.
Social distancing is absolutely critical. And if you can't social distance and you're outside, you must wear a mask.
Despite the warning, many people still plan to commemorate Memorial Day with cookouts, ceremonies, and other services. City of Connellsville held a Memorial Day march this morning. The community was asked to practice social distancing and wear masks. We have some other news to get to this afternoon as well. One person is dead and another behind bars after a shooting outside of a Fayette County restaurant. State police say Justin Riddico killed Robert Lukehart at the Long John Silver on Morgantown Road in South Union Township yesterday. So far, police have not released a motive. Channel 11's Kara Sapaida will have more on this shooting tonight at 5. Happening now, Pennsylvania State Police are searching for a man tied to two possible murders in Connecticut. This morning, state police in Connecticut put out this updated picture of the suspect, Peter Manfredonia. He was last seen in East Stroudsburg, Monroe County. State police say he traveled there after dumping a car that he was driving near the Jersey-Pennsylvania border. Police believe he killed a man in Connecticut on Friday and murdered another man yesterday morning. Police do not want anyone to approach him because they say he is armed and dangerous. One person taken to the hospital after being hit by a car early this morning in the city's Beechview neighborhood. It happened as the victim was walking along Crosby Avenue in Beechview, and when we got there, officers and medics were on scene. Police are still investigating. A man is in the Allegheny County Jail charged with hitting and killing a bicyclist while high on heroin. Just an awful story. Justin Miller is charged with homicide after police say he hit Curtis Brown on Saturday in Bell Acres. According to police, Brown was riding his bicycle near Good Samaritan Catholic Cemetery when Miller hit him head-on with his pickup truck. Police.
It's scary because we like to do a lot of stuff outdoors, and you never want to think about that happening to you or somebody that you know.
15 minutes before the hit and run, Franklin Park police got a call about an erratic driver heading towards Big Sewickley Creek Road. They believe now that that was Miller. 3 people are accused of attacking at least one Pittsburgh police officer early this morning in Homewood South. 2 officers were out patrolling when they spotted a group of people chasing a man on Collier Street near Idlewild Street just before 2:30. And when police confronted the group, were told a woman punched an officer in the face. Then 2 underage boys joined the attack. All 3 were arrested. The officers thankfully were not seriously hurt. On Friday, 17 Pennsylvania counties will move into that green phase of reopening. Most of those are in the north central and northwest part of the state, as you see here. Lawrence is the only local county on that list. Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald says he is hopeful that more of the region will be given the green light this Friday. Under the green phase, restaurants and bars can open, but only allowed to have dine-in customers at 50% capacity. Large gatherings like concerts, festivals, and sporting events are still not allowed, and you must continue to practice social distancing and wear a mask. Several local and state leaders said they were extremely disappointed that more of southwestern PA was not moved into the green phase. State Rep Pam Snyder of Greene, Fayette, and Washington County said communities have done their part and have helped to flatten the curve. Last week, those counties and Butler County moved forward with their federal lawsuit against Governor Wolf. They believe the order to close non-essential businesses violated their constitutional rights. For the first time in months, more Americans are spending this holiday outside their homes. Many are choosing to drive rather than to fly to their destinations, and it's leading to alarming images of busy beaches and packed parks. NBC's Kathy Park has this report from Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey.
From a packed pool party in the Ozarks teeming with people to shoulder-to-shoulder river rafting in Arizona.
We need to enjoy the sunshine. Vitamin D is crucial.
Folks coast to coast are risking COVID exposure, flocking outdoors to overcrowded areas, seeking sun and fun this Memorial Day weekend.
We got slammed. Everything's closed. So where did everybody come? On the first warm day with 50% opening? Everybody came to the beach.
Some gatherings even turning violent. 6 people hurt after gunfire erupted along a crowded beachside road in Daytona Beach, Florida. Some states attempting to enforce social distancing where they can. At California's Manhattan Beach, parking lots closed to limit the number of visitors, with safety officers actively encouraging people to wear masks.
When you get to the beach, remove them. But right now, please have them on.
As similar scenes of packed beaches play out across the nation, the dangerous threat of community spread remains. In Arkansas, where officials say they're monitoring a second peak, a month after the first wave, Governor Asa Hutchinson announcing an outbreak of new coronavirus cases stemming from a youth swim party. In North Carolina, where many businesses, including restaurants, are now open, the state recording more than 1,100 new cases from Friday to Saturday, the highest single-day spike. Today, as Arlington National Cemetery remains closed to the public, the country approaches a grim milestone of 100,000 COVID-19 deaths. The New York Times turning its Sunday cover into a powerful memorial for the victims, a striking tribute and a reminder that the war isn't over.
And here in New Jersey, the numbers are trending downward, but the state is still seeing new coronavirus cases. The governor said people should enjoy the holiday weekend, just don't get complacent. In Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, Kathy Park, NBC News.
Kathy, thank you so much. Right now, county homicide detectives are investigating after a man was found dead in the Mon River in Baldwin. The man's body discovered last night around 6 near East Carson Street. Baldwin asked Pittsburgh firefighters to help recover the remains. Police are working to identify the man. If you live in Allegheny County and your mail-in ballot hasn't arrived yet, election officials say it's coming. The election division is working around the clock to process the increased applications. And if you would like a mail-in ballot, the applications need to be returned by 5 p.m. tomorrow. That is the deadline for the June 2nd primary. Meanwhile, the GOP is pushing for the county to return to its normal number of in-person polling locations. The Dormont Pool is scheduled to stay closed for the summer, but the community is not giving up. The big new donation aimed at saving this summertime favorite. And live pictures right now, the president speaking at Fort McHenry in Baltimore to mark Memorial Day. After the break, how the coronavirus pandemic took a toll on a local Memorial Day ceremony. Stay with us.
Plus, I'm using Storm Tracker to pinpoint which neighborhoods could pick up a cooling thunderstorm this afternoon.
Channel 11 covers weather everywhere you live.
And we have the experience to get it right. We know the unique weather patterns across our neighborhoods.
That's why it can be raining in Beaver County,
while it's dry in Westmoreland County.
Weather coverage you can count on.
The home for the drawings for the Pennsylvania Lottery is Channel 11. You can only see the lottery drawings on Channel 11 right before Jeopardy and at 11:11 on Channel 11 News. The Pennsylvania Lottery is on Channel 11. Channel 11 News 11 at 11. 11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
Welcome back. Breaking right now, there are 473 new cases of the coronavirus in Pennsylvania. State Department of Health just releasing these numbers. Take a look at your screen here. We'll break them down. The statewide total is now more than 68,000 cases. All counties in Pennsylvania now have cases of COVID-19. We've had more than 5,000 deaths. That is an increase of 15 new deaths. And to date, there are more than 334,000 people who have tested negative. Back to honoring Memorial Day now. President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence taking part in this wreath-laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier about 2 hours ago. The President is also taking part in another ceremony in Baltimore right now to honor American military heroes who died on the front lines. And a solemn ceremony to honor our veterans and service members on this Memorial Day. But the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, took its toll on Sunday's ceremony. Channel 11's Lori Hoy shows us how the annual memorial was different this year.
This year's Memorial Day commemoration was like no other here at the National Cemetery of the Alleghenies. It lasted just minutes with a handful of people, mostly cemetery staff, in attendance. This annual wreath-laying ceremony at the cemetery pays tribute to the brave men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
We understand the real purpose of this day, to honor the patriots who were lost in battle throughout our history.
Last year, hundreds turned out for the ceremony, but this year was much different because of the COVID-19 pandemic. There was social distancing and masks. It was also the first time that veterans and their families were not present. The solemn service not open to the public.
Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic has required us to change our daily operations and has prevented us from paying tribute the way we normally would.
This is Memorial Weekend. I have to go out there to pay a visit to my husband, to pay respect to him.
Thelma Wenzel's late husband, Edward, who served in the Army, is buried here. Since this was a private ceremony, Mrs. Wenzel was asked to watch it from her car.
If you're here and you're paying a visit to a loved one, you're allowed to stay.
This ceremony also remembered victims of coronavirus and healthcare workers.
I ask you to take a moment to reflect on our fellow Americans.
Ed Hyduke is the director of the cemetery.
Think about the healthcare workers who have risked their own lives to help their fellow citizens who have been afflicted with this devastating coronavirus.
The ceremony lasted only 10 minutes, concluding after a moment of silence and the playing of taps. Hyduke is also asking everyone to observe a national moment of remembrance at 3 p.m. on Memorial Day. From Cecil Township, Washington County, Lori Hoy, Channel 11 News.
Beautiful story, Lori. Thank you so much. Your time coming up on 12:17 on this Monday afternoon. Local researchers say COVID-19 information is being manipulated on social media. CMU says much of the discussion about reopening America on Twitter is created by bots. Twitter bots are automated user accounts that normally are used to generate mass interest in specific content by spreading messages at a rate that's just not possible with a human user. Since January, CMU says about 82% of the influential retweets about COVID-19 were sent by bots. Researchers say they'll continue to look for patterns, including how to determine where the bots are coming from. A local restaurant is passing along a price hike to you, the customer, and people we spoke with say they don't mind and they completely understand. Channel 11's Jillian Hartman has their story.
This is brisket.
Lunch hour on Fridays is always busy.
And I've got ribs over here.
Here at this barbecue joint along Route 51 in Brentwood.
Well, have a good one.
I stop in, I'd say probably 2 or 3 times a month.
It's been around for 16 years, and customers say the great food keeps them coming back.
I usually get the deluxe cheesesteak, or the pulled pork is very good as well.
But now at the walk-up window,
Good food here.
they are greeted with this sign explaining a temporary price increase of about 50% on all pork and beef.
Meat's doubled in price. So we could have doubled our prices or taken the items off the menu. So we sort of went in the middle. We kept everything on the menu.
The owner says he's been transparent, letting customers know in advance about the price change.
Because the last thing we want them to do is call in an order and come and have sticker shock and say, oh my gosh, that's a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
But despite the markup, he says business has continued to increase. Customers we spoke to understand small businesses are hurting at this time and want to be supportive.
I don't have any problem giving a little bit of extra money for the quality of food that he has.
The owner just hopes the meat shortage is not long term.
Because a lot of times when these things happen, it's an excuse for all the manufacturers to raise their prices.
Now the owner tells me there are other options on the menu that he still kept the same price, like these chicken sandwiches right here. Again, he says the price increase for pork, brisket, and burgers are temporary, but it's unclear for how long. Reporting in Brentwood, I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, we are seeing plenty of sunshine across the area today. As a matter of fact, going to see plenty of sunshine the next couple of days. Look live outside right now of our PennDOT cameras. I-79 Carnegie right now. You got sun-drenched skies. Also I-79 Kerwin Heights. Couple puffy cumulus clouds starting to form this afternoon, but not much in the way of rain, just a stray shower in a spot or two. Here are the current temperatures outside. 81 degrees in Pittsburgh, 80 in Butler, 81 in Greensburg. Mentioned that dew point at 67 right now. That is well within the uncomfortable range. The air starts to get that heavier feel, that stickier feel, and it becomes a little more difficult to do things outside, especially considering we haven't been there very recently as far as the very warm stuff with the humid stuff. Here's visible satellite. We're kind of in a bit of a box here in between some systems, so we're doing pretty good this afternoon. Suncast for the next 3 days looks really good. At least 11, 12 hours of sunshine each and every day, including today. Now, Thursday, we start to get some showers and thunderstorms, then we'll see a little bit decrease in that sunshine. UV forecast today, it's an 8, so going through the course of the day today, keep in mind that UV forecast very high. What that means is burn time only takes about 15 minutes. That's why we tell you SPF 30 or higher. So throughout the course of the day today and really the next couple of days, definitely use that sunscreen. Warm up definitely here. It is here for the next several days. Highs in the 80s today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and all likelihood Thursday as well. Want to get some grilling done this afternoon into early this evening. Keep in mind, very warm, very muggy, spotty shower or storm, but most of the area is rain-free. Storm tracker not showing much in the way of showers, just a couple hit and miss showers through early this evening. They quickly fade away after sunset tonight. Then a warm, muggy night tonight, 65 for the overnight low tomorrow. Very warm, humid again, high temperature tomorrow, about 88 degrees. Humidity forecast, I want you to notice in Thursday and into Friday, humidity really starts to shoot up again as we get a cold front approaching the area for the end of the week. Things are going to get pretty sticky Wednesday night, Thursday, and into Friday. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. 87 on Wednesday, 83 on Thursday, with a couple afternoon thunderstorms. Better chance of showers and thunderstorms on Friday with a high temperature of 79 degrees. Then over the weekend, cooler, more comfortable, highs in the 70s, but still looking like a good deal of sunshine both days, especially on Sunday. Catherine?
This afternoon, how servicemen and women who lost their lives liberating Europe during World War II were honored today.
Coronavirus can't keep this local teacher from her students. Reading, teaching, and making crafts online. She's finding ways to connect while staying apart.
It's really touching to see someone else care about your child.
Coming together in a time of crisis makes us proud to be from Pittsburgh.
Proud to be from Pittsburgh. Brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Great cars, great people. For a great deal on a Honda, visit shophonda.com. Pennsylvania Lottery is on Channel 11. Look for drawings at 7 and 11:11 p.m.
They're almost like the murder hornet, but not. It's cicada season. There could be many as 1 million and 1.5 million cicadas per acre. That is according to Virginia Tech. They pop out of the ground, as you know, every 17 years. And this year, Virginia, West Virginia, and North Carolina, they are up to see the most likely. And while cicadas are harmless to us, they're a danger to orchards, vines, and trees. Right now, 27 hikers are safe and reunited with their families after getting stranded in Scott County, Virginia. Quite a story here. Those 27 hikers, including 2 children, look at the reunions here. They got stuck on Sunday while hiking in an area called Devil's Bathtub. Happened after pockets of heavy rain pounded the area and then caused flash flooding where they were. 20 people were rescued after being trapped on the trails. And this afternoon, the 7 remaining hikers were brought to safety. Fortunately, just minor injuries like mild hypothermia were reported. Very lucky. We've been telling you for weeks about coronavirus scams, what the state labor department says scammers are targeting the most. But first, where there are new concerns about underground basement parties. Up next.
When news is happening near you, Channel 11 is there.
Aliquippa, Coriopolis, Moon. We cover news everywhere you live.
That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, Butler. For news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5. Channel 11 News, 11 and 11 means you get 11 minutes of news and weather
before the first commercial.
It means live coverage of breaking news, local news, and your first look at weather.
All before the first commercial.
Channel 11 News, 11 and 11.
Watch tonight.
Watch David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan on Channel 11 News at 5.
Welcome back. Time almost 12:30, and the White House broadening its travel ban for countries hit hard by the coronavirus. So starting on Thursday, any non-U.S. citizen who's been in Brazil for up to 14 days before trying to enter the U.S. is now banned. The travel ban comes as cases of the virus are spiking in Brazil. It is now the second worst country for infections in the world. NBC's Bill Neely has the story.
Brazil has the largest coronavirus outbreak in the world after the U.S., but in fact, the virus is spreading faster here than anywhere, with more than 1/3 confirmed cases and an average of 1,000 deaths every day. The White House says the new travel ban is to protect the American people from new sources of infection. It says between 1,500 and 1,800 people come from Brazil into the U.S. every week. Well, Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro, has been dismissive of the virus right from the beginning. In fact, yesterday, he joined anti-lockdown protesters. Now, millions in Brazil follow his lead on social distancing. He doesn't believe in it, so they don't believe in it. And President Trump said last week that he didn't want people from Brazil, as he put it, coming in and infecting our people. Now, the U.S. already has a travel ban in place for non-U.S. citizens from China, from the UK, and from much of Europe. Brazil's ban begins on Friday. Bill Neely, NBC News, Rio de Janeiro.
If you are heading out to a Memorial Day gathering this afternoon, let's check in with Scott. And Scott, it is very muggy out there.
It's warm, it's humid, it's very much like summer, and this is the unofficial start of summer, and it certainly feels like it this afternoon. 81 degrees right now currently in Pittsburgh, 80 in Butler. Factoring the humidity, it feels like 86 now in Beaver, feels like 83 in Pittsburgh. Current heat index heading down toward Washington, 84 degrees. We are dry right now on Storm Tracker, Doppler 11 radar. We'll pick up an isolated shower or storm, but if you have some yard work you want to get done this afternoon, just drink plenty of water. That heat, that humidity, kind of high today. It's going to stay with us the next couple of days. I'm tracking when the next cool down arrives. I'll have that for you coming up in about 15 minutes.
Looking forward to it, Scott. For the first time, we are hearing from the head of the Chinese lab that some are pointing to as the potential source of the coronavirus, as China's government is warning the U.S. to back down. NBC's Janice Mackey-Freyer reports from Beijing.
This morning in Wuhan, the world's widest search for the coronavirus. Officials attempting to test everyone, all 11 million people in every neighborhood. The Chinese city hardest hit by the virus that remains at the center of allegations that the virus causing COVID-19 didn't come from a market here, but a lab known to be doing coronavirus research. For the first time, the director of the Wuhan Institute of Virology told state media that the lab has 3 live strains of bat coronavirus on site, but that none of them match the ones sweeping dozens of countries. This is pure fabrication, she says, of the claims the virus somehow got out of the lab, adding, quote, like everyone else, we didn't even know the virus existed. How could it have leaked from our lab when we never had it? And the leading researcher, known here as Batwoman, also appeared today on state TV, saying it's regrettable that science and politics are being mixed together when cooperation is needed. For months, theories have swirled about where and how the pandemic started, ramping up a U.S.-China blame game.
They unleashed a virus on the world that's destroyed trillions of dollars in American economic wealth.
4 months after the lockdown of Wuhan, much of the city and the rest of China are showing signs of a return to normal, with new facts of life, like thermal imaging at office buildings, disinfecting at factories, and restrictions on travel. And the country's most important political event, the National People's Congress, is now underway, having been postponed, but with no social distancing, and even journalists were tested before going inside.
The wide-scale testing here is a sign of how worried China's government is about a second wave of infections. More than 100 countries are still urging an independent international investigation here, something China is resisting, saying it won't agree to any probe that begins with the presumption that it's guilty. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
A lot of people were able to worship together for the first time in months over the weekend. Grace Life Church in Monroeville held an outdoor service to honor our heroes that we've lost on this Memorial Day. They had a gun salute, food, music, and fireworks. People who attended were asked to spread out in the parking lot.
I just felt like, for me personally, it was a violation of my privacy.
Interesting debate here. This woman says that the reopening plan at her downtown office building is excessive. She works at PPG Place, and it's part of a bigger discussion of where is the line between public safety and personal privacy. 11 Investigates' Angie Moreski is looking into the dispute between some businesses and their building manager.
So I'm trying to scan in. It's not letting me scan it.
The access card that business owner Don Tackix uses to get into her office at PPG Place is deactivated.
This is just a violation of our constitutional rights. You're stepping over the line.
Tackix, owner of Elite Casino Events, has had an office in one PPG Place for 3 years. She says she was blindsided when her property management company sent her and other businesses this safety pledge, saying she and other guests would be required to sign it before being allowed back on the premises.
It's crossed the line between business and personal.
The pledge would require her to do things like social distance, wear masks, and even have her temperature taken, which she says she was fine with. But then it said they would also collect her personal health information, which she says crosses the line. She posted her anger on Facebook, saying she was locked out, and got a big response.
I absolutely love my office there, and I want to maintain and keep my office there. But you're asking me to keep my office or to give up my rights.
Industrious is one of the largest property management companies in the country, with 95 locations in 45 cities. So their access cards were never deactivated, and no one has been denied access to the space. I contacted the company, and at first they told me it was not their policy to require businesses to sign the safety pledge, even though their own brochure says it is. Ultimately, the company's general manager for North America confirmed it is indeed the policy.
We are requiring it, much as the building itself is requiring it. And I think much as every office building in America is really thinking about how do things have to be different in order to keep tenants and communities safe.
What do you say to the business owners, your licensees? You say that's not fair and it's an invasion of privacy.
While I understand this may not work for everyone, we have heard that the community's behavior is the #1 concern for our members.
Dawn says she wants to be safe, but still believes this goes too far.
I find that un-American, for lack of a better word.
Angie Moreski, Channel 11 News.
After we contacted Industrious, the company said businesses are allowed in for now, and a security guard did let Dawn go back into her office on Friday. They said they hope to work something out with her. But as of next week, businesses that do not sign the safety pledge will not be allowed in their offices. We'll keep an eye on it. There are concerns this afternoon about underground basement parties. They happen right here in Pennsylvania, apparently. The NBC station in Erie was sent a series of these Facebook videos showing more than 30 people partying in tight spaces, obviously without masks on and not social distancing. And the residents say they're disappointed. The raves appear to be happening every Friday night. This comes as Erie County reports a new spike in COVID cases. After the break, why your grocery bill for Memorial Day picnics, it's higher this year.
News is happening in your neighborhood. Channel 11 News is there.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, and Butler. We cover news everywhere you live, not just downtown. We're in Aliquippa, Coraopolis, and Moon.
Bringing you stories that impact your town. That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
More local news from more neighborhoods. That's a fact. We're in Bethel Park, South Park, and Mount Lebanon. When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
David Johnson and Lisa Sylvester on Channel 11 News, 11 at 11.
Welcome back. If you are planning on hosting a cookout this afternoon, watch the grocery bill. Meat is probably going to cost you extra this year. Meat prices are still high because plants are shutting down, and that is causing a jam in the supply chain. Tyson says nearly 600 employees at their poultry plant in Greensboro, North Carolina, tested positive for the coronavirus. Economists say we should still be seeing higher meat prices well into June. The coronavirus is changing how we honor Memorial Day this year. Over the weekend, the Cranberry Township VFW Post 879 and the township held a virtual ceremony. The online service included a gun salute and bell ringing to honor those who we've lost. If you missed that ceremony, you can watch it again. It is on the Cranberry Township Facebook page right now. A Marine veteran stood for 24 hours straight in our nation's capital. We'll have his next mission up next.
This is Channel 11 News, 11 at 11. Accurate details, experienced coverage, trusted weather source.
I'm tracking a strong storm moving into Greensburg.
All in the first 11 minutes of our newscast. Count on Channel 11 News, 11 at 11 tonight.
Channel 11 News and NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
We're a team you can count on to cover stories that impact your life.
Whether it's across the street or around the world.
Channel 11 News at 6.
And NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
The state labor department is working to stop COVID-19 scams. They're asking all Pennsylvanians to stay vigilant and report any suspected fraud. The biggest target has been with unemployment benefits, and officials say scammers are using Social Security numbers and other personal data. And in many situations, victims don't know their identity has been stolen. So never give out your personal information over email or text message. Never, please never wire or send money. And don't open or respond to unsolicited emails. Business is down for most retailers these days, but consumer advisor Clark Howard says that could mean big deals for you.
The new stats from the Commerce Department are absolutely ugly on retail sales. We have pretty much decided that we're only buying basics, which means that if your job is A-OK and your money is fine, then this is an opportunity for you to get things at pretty much the lowest prices we've ever seen. Clothing sales have dropped something on the order of 80%. So that means there's unsold spring and summer clothing that you can fill out your wardrobe. Electronic sales down 60%. If you need to refresh any of your electronics or there's some gadget you'd love to have, this is a wonderful time for you to get it. But the best news out of the bad stats is we're doing a much better job of saving money and holding on to it, and I think that's a good thing overall. I'm Clark Howard.
Clark, thank you so much. An incredible story here. Wearing his uniform, retired U.S. Marine Staff Sergeant Tim Chambers stood on a concrete median in D.C. since high noon yesterday. Reporter Kevin Lewis explains his mission.
On a concrete median at the corner of Constitution Avenue and 23rd Street Northwest stands retired Marine Staff Sergeant Tim Chambers.
It's a very emotional time. Very emotional.
Chambers' wife, Lorraine, says her husband began the Memorial Day weekend tradition in 2002, saluting thousands of Rolling Thunder motorcyclists for hours on end. This year, however, the 45-year-old San Diego County resident plans to stand for 24 hours straight, all to raise awareness about veteran suicide. Chambers handpicked a music playlist for motivation. After all, he's abstaining from water, food, and bathroom breaks.
Health, relationships, financial, those are the biggest things that contribute to suicide.
Sabrina Barella helps run Chambers' charity, fittingly named the Saluting Marine Cares. It pays for veteran medical bills left uncovered by the VA.
None of us take a salary with the charity, so everything goes to veterans.
Although thousands have streamed Chambers' feat online,
I've never seen a man with so much endurance.
Robert Hall rode his shiny blue motorcycle up from Fredericksburg to see it in person.
I've known people that served in Vietnam, and even when they come back, sometimes they don't come back.
This is something that he needs to do every year, and I support him for it. No matter what it takes, we get out here.
Every year he does that. That was Kevin Lewis reporting. Rolling to Remember was canceled this year because of COVID-19. However, more than 100 motorcycle riders, as you saw there, pulled onto the grass early Sunday afternoon to watch Chambers. Well done, sir. In honor of Memorial Day, the King of the Netherlands joining the U.S. ambassador to mark those we've lost in World War II. The King met the U.S. ambassador at the American Cemetery. More than 8,000 U.S. service members are buried there. Another 1,700 who went missing in action are remembered on the Wall of the Missing. Ceremony took place 75 years after American soldiers helped liberate Europe from the Nazis.
Here, we stand on hallowed ground. These soldiers, they paid the ultimate price to restore the light of freedom, of Freiheit, to a continent.
Due to the pandemic, it was a small ceremony, and the public was not allowed to attend.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
It is warm, it is humid, it is feeling more like late July, early August than the last week of May, but summer has made its arrival, and it's going to be here much of the week this week. Live look at tower cam right now, 81 degrees, and no wind to stir things around, so those muggy conditions just kind of sitting in the air. Feels like 78 right now, currently up into Venango County and Franklin, 80 in Butler, 83 already in Kittanning, 81 for Greensburg and for Washington right now. Talking about that dew point, and this is what we start to talk about all summer long. The dew point is the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. The higher the number is, and the closer it is to the temperature, the more humid the air it feels to you. So 67 degrees, well within the uncomfortable range. Matter of fact, bordering on that 70-degree mark, which is generally the benchmark for where it starts to feel oppressive outside. Reason for it, southerly flow of air. We're kind of stuck in between some systems right now, so the air is relatively quiet. We'll see a pop-up shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, but well into the 80s for the next several days. Kids want to get outside today, make sure they have sunscreen on. Make sure they have plenty of liquid, too. That water they're going to need throughout the day today. Children tend to dehydrate quickly. They don't ask for the water. Temperatures mid-80s this afternoon. Again, a quick cooling shower or thunderstorm. Not really much forming whatsoever today. We'll see a shower or a storm in a couple of spots. Most areas will remain rain-free during the day today, and then heading into the evening hours tonight, This really quiets down once we get into sunset. These are diurnal showers and thunderstorms that pop up, which means they generally pop up in the heat of the day. And when the sun starts to go down, they start to weaken, fall apart, and then they're gone during the overnight hours. So we won't see anything past sunset tonight. Forecast for tonight, warm, muggy, 65 for the overnight low tonight. Normal high temperature for today is 73. Tomorrow, upper 80s, 88 for the high. A couple areas will reach near 90 degrees tomorrow. Keep in mind your car thermometers, your bank thermometers generally tend to register a little bit high, so don't need to tweet me tomorrow saying, oh my goodness, it's 92 on my car thermometer. Usually it's about 4 to 6 degree air during the heat of the day this time of the year. Suncast the next couple days. It will be abundant, so plenty of dry skies, plenty of sunshine, plenty of humidity right through the end of the week. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. 88 tomorrow, 87 for the high temperature on Wednesday with partly sunny skies. Now showers and thunderstorms roll in late Thursday. See an off and on rainy day on Friday with a few thunderstorms, high of 79. Much cooler, much more comfortable this weekend. Humidity lower, clouds in the morning Saturday giving way to some sunshine, then sunshine on Sunday and a high temperature of 75 degrees. Catherine?
Scott, thank you so much. New details now. The Dormont Pool may still open this summer after the borough got a big donation. Friends of Dormont Pool donated $25,000 to go towards its reopening. Earlier this month, the borough voted to keep it closed due to concerns over the coronavirus. But on Friday, Governor Wolf announced that pools can open in the yellow and green phases. We'll keep an eye on it. New at noon, why a man in Kansas ran 2 full marathons in a day. Up next.
PRSA Channel 11 News, 11 at 11 all the time.
But this is what it means.
It means you get 11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
It means we deliver breaking news, local news happening now, and details about what's happened since 6.
All before the first commercial.
11 at 11 means I'll track storms and bring you your first look at weather before the first commercial.
Channel 11 News, 11 at 11.
11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
Watch tonight.
Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper, tracking the weather in your neighborhood.
Really not about the time today. About what you run for.
A high school track coach in Kansas ran 55 miles over 11 hours. I'm sweating already. All to honor his seniors who couldn't compete this year because of COVID-19. So for the last 4 years, it's a neat story. DJ Bookout coached at Wichita North, but next season he's going to be coaching in his hometown at Newton High School. So to honor his athletes, both past and future, he ran back and forth between the two schools, streaming it live on Facebook for them to see.
Just seemed really
appropriate to symbolically run to North as a way of reaching out to my North kids, and then on the way back changing shirts and then doing the same thing all the way back to Newton.
Changing shirts, that's dedication. Bookout wanted every child that he coached to know he believes in them and to never give up, even through the hard times. A great message there. Finally, this afternoon, for the first time since the shutdown, the Pittsburgh Zoo welcoming back visitors. Not your typical trip to the zoo. Guests stayed in their cars for the Zoofari drive-through fundraiser. They were guided by an audio tour, and they met that little guy right there. The money raised will support the zoo's emergency operating fund.
So right now we are in need of support for our 7,000 animals. We are closed to the public during COVID-19, so we need the support from our public through events like these that go straight to our emergency operating fund.
Zoo officials say the tickets were sold out for Sunday, but you have some other chances. It runs through Friday. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 4:30.
WPXI is proud to partner with UPMC to present Community Matters.
Hello and thanks for watching. As we move through the COVID-19 situation, what should you do if your child needs medical attention? Joining me today to talk about emergency and urgent care for children is Dr.